Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Anna. I'm a little bit spooky today. I'm a little ghoulish, a little swampy, a little phantom greenish, if you will. And we are playing with the Ghost Town palette from Nomad once again. You know I could not wait to get my little claws into these green shades over here, and that is exactly what we did today and created this look with some little half lashes and a grayish brown lip. And just had some fun. We chit-chat a little bit about when somebody is a lot and they just become too much. Where's that line? Type of thing. We did a little chit-chatty today about some deep stuff. Anyway, this is the look we create. If you want to see how I got this look, hang out with me, spend some time over here. Just keep on watching. Before you do, don't forget to like and subscribe. And yeah, let's get on to our spooky glam. Alright guys, let's create something ghoulishly green today. You like my mug, by the way? How cute is this? It's from Cracker Barrel. Their Halloween stuff this year was very cute, and I just had to have this mug. It's a little hard to drink out of. Maybe do it this direction, I don't know. But we're on brand today with our ghoulishly green spooky vibes. Okay, so obviously, we're using the Nomad Ghost Town palette, and we're going to go in with the green side of the palette over here. These murky, just swampy greens. We're going to use a little bit of this shade, a little bit of this shade, possibly a little bit of smoky quartz just for funsies. We'll see where the look goes. All right, let's get started. First thing I want to do is take a little bit of eyeliner. I'm going to take the Sourmet Cosmetics eyeliner in Black Jade because it is almost a perfect match for the shade Arrested Decay. Pretty dang close. So let me pull a mirror over here so I can see what the heck I'm doing. And yeah, eyes are primed, brows are on. I got foundation on and some lip balm. So let's dab on in here. Okay, so I'm going to start here and just kind of create our smoky little shape like I like to do, just to get things started. And we're gonna just swoop that out just a touch. I love doing a dark little base at the lash line. I just feel like it makes the look have a little extra depth and just something a little more, I don't know, finished. And I'm gonna take that up from the outer corner a bit. All right, and then we're gonna give that a little small blend with a detail brush. This is from Sonia Kashuk. If I can find it, I'll link it below because it's one of my favorite little brushes because it's so just perfectly small to get in there to smudge stuff out and not get messy with it for some detail work. And I believe Real Techniques also has one like this, and if I can find that, I'll link it as well. They're fairly comparably priced, but I don't think you can buy the Real Techniques one individually, and this one I believe you can. I kind of want to stick with this little brush. I'm going to make sure there's no eyeliner on it. Always keep a little towel next to me here on the arm of my chair to clean brushes off on. I'm going to go straight into Arrested Decay. Just going to pick a little bit of this up. I'm going to pat that over the eyeliner. I went ahead and did my foundation because I didn't have a ton of fallout the first time I used the palette, so I'm trusting it, and also trusting my own skill of not making a mess. And we're going to do like a smoky liner situation because that suits my eye the best if I'm doing like a kind of a winged shape. I like the shade because it is almost, it's such a dark, like brownish black that is, or brownish green that's, it's almost black. So it gives you just beautiful depth. You can really create something super smoky. All right, I'm cleaning the brush off to where there's no additional product. And just softening things up. Okay, let's take a bit of Stagecoach Mary now. I'm going to take that on a detail diffuse crease, no, detail blending from Sigma. And let's try placing that like right here, just above. I'm gonna let that blend into Arrested Decay. This one's really dark too. It's got a bit of like a mossiness in it. I'm just relaxing my eye while I blend this. So now how high I want to bring it. All right, same brush. We're gonna go over to Ghost Town and just come a little bit higher up. I'm just gonna graze that. Bring it kind of into the socket a bit. So to create some shape. I like the grayishness. I'm like just kind of undead color of these shades. I like the lack of vibrancy. They're very kind of desaturated and just eerie. There's a subtlety to them that's really nice and quite unique. Back to a bit of Stagecoach Mary. In the best way possible, these shades have an undead vibe to them. And I mean that in the most flattering way. I'm taking a clean, fluffy brush. Just graze that around. And just make sure everything's all nice and soft. On my little detail brush, I'm gonna go back and grab a touch more Arrested Decay. Just make sure that is looking its darkest right out there. I'm gonna take a touch of that right here of Arrested Decay on the inner corner. I'm not gonna bring it too far in. It's just gonna be like a little something to add like depth just right there and kind of pull the eye inward and down so we get kind of a lift. And I think we're not going to be shy on today's look because we're going kind of ghoulish with it. And I mean ghoulish also in the best way. Going spooky. I'm going to take just a tiny bit of Stagecoach Mary on this detail blending. And we're just going to kiss right there with it. Just a small amount. Just enough to kind of blend that and create a nice balance with the outer corner. I'm trying to keep it a little controlled. I'm not going super high. I want to keep a general like lift going this direction. Now I'm going to take a flat brush and I'm going to grab some of Calico California, which is the green gold metallic that is like glowing green. It is so pretty. I want to pop that on the center. I mean, look at this color. It's such a pretty, just sparkliness to it. And I'm doing dry brush, nothing special added to it to make it perform. It's doing this on its own. I love the versatility here where you can do this a bit more of a sparkly wash, or you can build it up and get just this amazing payoff from it. Now this is what I would call a phantom green shade. I'm just letting that diffuse as it comes up and letting that sparkle just kind of trickle out in that kind of halo shape. All right, I'm gonna take a little bit on my finger, just right in the very center there. Just get the most out of it. That's so pretty. Oof, oof, oof is the only color I can, only sound effect I can make for this. It's just oof in a good way. I'm gonna try to stick just a touch of gold rush on that just inner teeny tiny center part. Very controlled. Just a little doot of that. Just a little added sparkle. It just creates so much dimension when you layer these shades up. We can take a little bit of calico on this brush and let it kind of just flow. Give it a nice kind of grungy, messy feel, but a controlled mess. Controlled chaos sort of way. Yep. Very, very cool. I'll grab a little liner brush and take some more of Arrested Decay just to make sure that is nice and intense right there. And again, I'm seeing very minimal fallout for shades like this, where they tend to be kind of fallout heavy, like these dark colors like this. I'm not like really tapping my brush off crazy. I got a little bit right here. I always get a little bit right there on this one eye. I don't know what I do. I'm taking, this is a tiny little Morphe M2500 brush. It's just a little liner brush. It's really fine. Coming right to this inner part. Just make sure it's nice and intense right there. I'm going to take just a regular Sigma blending brush. We'll just take a touch more of Ghost Town. Just create a little bit of a haze with this, a little bit more, a little bit higher. I'll just do this right here, a little swoop. I'm going to bring a little bit more calico, just kind of right up here, just a little bit more. So you can kind of see it, my eyes are relaxed. Just letting it taper off at a bit of an angle. Like everything's kind of going this way. I'm kind of obsessed with the calico shade. I just want to keep putting it on. It's so pretty. I think that looks cool for the upper lash line. I'm gonna throw a little bit of my eyeliner along the lash in the tight line here. All right, I'm gonna clamp this little tiny bit of fallout I have, and then we'll do the lower. We'll throw on some concealer and do the lower lash line. So I really don't have much, just a teensy bit. I'm just gonna wipe away with a Q-tip. And we can clean up this little shaper out here. I'm really impressed with the lack of fallout. I was expecting much more, especially the palette that talks about being super pigmented and, you know, finer pigment stuff. I always feel like they're gonna be like somehow powdery or have a lot of fallout, but this one really impressive. Just all around impressive. Now, I don't think Nomad's other palettes are quite like this. This is a new formula for them. So if they continue putting out palettes in this formula, they might become like top tier #1 brand for me. They keep up the unique color stories in the formula. A little bit of concealer. I'm just going to use my L'Oreal True Match Eye Cream and Concealer because it's in front of me. And on the rest of my face, I do have the L'Oreal True Match Hyaluronic Tinted Nude Serum, bit of Flawless Filter from Charlotte Tilbury, Patrick Ta Contour Bronze. Everything that I've used will be listed and linked down below, as well as the key brushes. And those are affiliate links. Because Mallory Brooks said, I'm not sponsored by brands, I'm sponsored by you guys. And I liked that turn of phrase that she used. Side note, do you ever notice that there's always these certain people who are involved in drama? I don't mean like internet personalities, I just mean like in life in general. There's always these certain personalities that tend to just, I feel like, somehow just manifest drama. Out of nowhere, they attract bad people into their lives. They're terrible judges of character. And they, either if they're well-intentioned or not, they don't realize that maybe they need to look inward a little bit sometimes. The thing that makes it complicated is because I don't think they always realize that they're doing that. They have that kind of a psychic vampire type of effect. But I feel like there's just certain people who are just, if they were surrounded by maybe, they attract people who are trouble into their life and just have bad judge of character when it comes to who they're surrounding themselves with, and then wonder why everything goes to hell. And I think it's partly like they get taken advantage of a lot, and it's not always like their fault. It's just they're just not very I don't know, don't trust their instinct about somebody. They want to see the best in something. Like, it's not that they're bad people. Like, they're just maybe a little, get walked over a little bit even. And then some of them, they're truly like, I think, just don't stand up for themselves and get walked over. But then I think there's some people who almost invite that in so that they can be the victim and complain about it. Like, they put themselves in these situations, subconsciously or not, to where they end up being the woe is me. Or, I can't believe this happened to me. Why would this person do this to me? Like, you kind of knew that wasn't a good person to begin with that you're hanging out with, right? I just like, it's almost like just a type of personality of people who just end up like that, or just attract crappy people into their world. You want to be friends with them because they're not bad people themselves, but there's always just so much that you kind of pull away in a way of like protecting yourself, like kind of an arm's length thing. Like, I can't with all that. I've got where I'm just, I don't know where I'm going with that. I don't mean this about like actually like traumatic events that happen to people. Obviously, there's real victims and real things that happen. I'm talking about the people who just create the drama around nothing 9 times out of 10. Like, literally nothing. And then they like to use psychological terms to almost manipulate people into feeling bad for them. And the thing that gets me is like, I don't think they realize all 100% of the time that they do this. And this has been multiple people that I've met that have been this way. And eventually, you kind of figure that out. And you separate yourself a bit from the situation. Like, yeah, okay. And I think there's also like a scenario of like outgrowing people in your life. And sometimes it hurts and it sucks, and you almost, you mourn losing somebody in your life, even though they were causing you a lot of grief in a way, like just frustration, but it's just not worth it to deal with the constant mental load that they would put on you when it's not your place to be a part of it. And it's not just like a friendship of saying, oh, this is what's going on in my life kind of thing. It was just this, let me tell you about the most horrible things that have been happening to me lately that are really not that bad, but I'm going to make them sound like they are a million times worse, and half of them are my fault because I did something stupid. Like that kind of thing. And then want you to feel sorry for them and baby them and tell them, oh, it's okay. Like, at some point you kind of have to put a wall up, I think. That's like something I always love, is like just kind of this people who just feed off of that attention, and it sucks because it's not that you can like, it's not that I like would dislike that person, when it would happen, and you start to feel guilty. I'm like, am I a bad person for thinking this way or feeling exhausted when I spend time with them? And it's almost like you kind of have to think to yourself, like, what am I getting out of this situation? That is this all just a negative situation? Is there positives here? And if there's not, that's when it kind of feels like it's time to move on. Like, maybe you outgrew that crowd or whatever. Like, I've gotten very private, I guess, in my personal life. Like, smaller crowd, very just the whole protect your peace thing. I've gotten really into kind of that, but not intentionally. But just like, when I hang out with this person, I feel icky. Or if I'm in this situation, I feel icky. I don't feel good. I feel anxious. I feel emotionally exhausted, physically exhausted even. Why do it? Why sit through that? And why be miserable when you don't have to? And it's not like it's anything that deep that you feel committed to be there. It's not like it's somebody you're committed to, or a situation that you're necessarily committed to. I don't know. I'm like, I was what, nearly 40 years old. Why am I doing things I don't want to do, essentially? Or why am I putting myself in situations that I don't feel comfortable in and around individuals that maybe I don't feel at ease around or just feel emotionally exhausted around? Why? It's not entertaining. It's not fun. It's very like high school mentality stuff that like I'm over. I would rather just stay home by myself than be in these situations, It's like, what's the point? If it's making me feel like shit. And I think that a lot of people say, oh, but that's, what social life will I have? This and that. Are you happy in that social life? No, or you just do it so you can say you have a social life. Because eventually you're going to find people that you can vibe with and not feel like work. That's what it is. When it feels just emotionally taxing too much. And I'm not saying there's not going to be like situations with those people that you vibe with, that there's not going to be times when things get stressful and hard. Of course there is. I'm talking about those trivial, every single 5 minutes type of things where it's just, come on. Can we not make this a thing? Like, that person looked at me wrong. Like that kind of situation of just getting mad over nothing. And I think so-and-so is mad at me because the spotlight isn't on that particular person. It's like there's always these times where they want everything to be about them. Anytime there's like in a group, and I've just decided that I don't have the patience for it. And I might sound cold saying that, but I don't have the patience, and I don't care anymore. That sounds kind of cold or mean to even think those things, but it's just being honest with yourself, saying, nah, I don't need this. I mean, it can be something simple too, like just, say you get on TikTok every day, you watch reels, or you watch, little short form content, or you're on Twitter, what have you, and it makes you feel like crap. Why are you doing it? Are you getting anything from it? No. I mean, that's a very scaled down version of it, but it's the same concept. Is it making you miserable? Then why are you doing it? Does looking at Instagram make you feel bad? Then there's no point. Then why look at it? Just live your life, enjoy, and do what makes you happy in the end. Life is too short to make yourself miserable unnecessarily. It's hard enough to be real bad. Like, it's hard enough. There's enough going on that you don't need to have to put yourself into these unnecessarily frustrating situations that are going to take up your bandwidth and you're going to think about after the fact. Just let it go and move on. That concludes my TED Talk today. Just a random, I just saw like a tweet today and it made me think about how this one particular person always seems to have some sort of drama around them, yet they're always, but it wasn't me. It's like, but then why are you always, like, at some point there's no smoke without fire. Why are you always in the middle of these situations though? Why are you hanging out with people get into this kind of stuff all the time? I'm fussy. Let me fuss. Actually, let's go ahead and do lower lash line, and I'm going to hush about my weird internal monologue of analysis that's always going on in my head. I'm like annoyed myself for even spending time thinking about this, because like, what does it matter? Does this have any impact in my life? Absolutely not. It doesn't matter. Why am I even thinking about it? But maybe it triggered a whole thought process of thinking about other situations where you see this in like real life with real people you know. And at some point, like, when do you fully like just kind of like end a friendship or something over that? Or kind of ghosted? Like, what is that too much point for you? Alright, I'm going to take that eyeliner once again. So the thing is, I'm not a mean person. I have a hard time being mean in person to anybody. I'm going to take green and tuck it right out here. But the thing is, I'm not a mean person in real life, and I don't like confrontation. I don't want to ever hurt people's feelings. And finding a way to kind of pull yourself out of these situations without creating any drama is tricky. So I tend to just keep things civil and keep things cool, mutually fine, and just allow like things to kind of grow apart. I've found that to be a nice way to do it without having to be cruel about anything or go there, because it's, in particular situations, sometimes it's necessary to say your piece, but in some situations it's just going to make it worse, because it's going to be just a whole nother pile of drama. Okay, I'm going to take a bit of Arrested Decay now on my little tiny brush. And thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Point being, I've just kind of organically, without really intentionally trying, have like consolidated my social life in a way. Like, I used to be somebody who went out multiple times a week sometimes. Didn't, even if I didn't drink then, like, I still was just a very go social person. And I kind of just realized I wasn't getting anything out of it other than just being tired and frustrated most of the time, because there's always some kind of an issue or drama with something, and everybody wants to pull you into it and tell you about it. I'm like, I just don't even pull me in your drama. I'm at that point where I'm like, I don't even want to hear about it. I don't want to hear how somebody gave you a funny look. Alright, now I'm going to take Stagecoach Mary. But I've found that taking a step back, though, from, oops, that was too much, being the social butterfly that I was, and just kind of doing that whole protect your peace thing, just going to the gym, doing my computer work, doing my videos, and keeping my circle small has brought me way more peace and happiness, like internal peace, and just I don't worry or feel unnecessarily stressed over something that doesn't have anything to do with me most of the time. I don't know, it's just been a nice transition that I've made in my later years, and putting the work into the quality relationships that matter and giving them the devotion and the time that they deserve. And there's times where your social battery just is at zero. I get like that. I get very, where I'm just like burnt out socially and mentally just tired, but that happens less now. I'm gonna jump back to Arrested Decay just to deepen up a little more. I don't know, just let me know if you've had experiences like that and what you think on that subject. And is that just a part of getting older, maybe? The crappy friends and stuff just naturally kind of will weed themselves out from your life. And those important people end up staying. Okay, I'm going to do something a little funky under the lower lash line here. I'm going to take a bit of Smoky Quartz, which is the Smoky Quartz shade. I'm going to put that right here. Along here. Ooh, cool. It's kind of a bluey, dark silver. There's a shade in the Natasha Denona Yucca that is similar to this as well. So you get two shades that are, two or three that are fairly close. Shade overlap, but it is okay. Okay, I think that looks cool with the dark in the lower lash line and that silvery shade, because the Smoky Quartz is pulling into those darker shades up here. Everything is kind of having just this very watery look to it. Even though I know this is a desert themed palette, there's a wateriness in this look that I'm loving. There's a swampiness here. All right, I'm gonna leave my eyes alone before my eyes start watering because I can feel it trying to go there. And I'm just going to take a touch of, do I want Radiolite or Quicksilver maybe? I just want to take a tiny kiss of Quicksilver. Just right here to catch the light a little more. It's interesting contrasts and pairings here. Definitely off the beaten path for me. Cool, let's do some blush. I'm going to take Floral Majority from Wet n Wild. This is one of their little makeup sticks. Taking that on the back of my hand. And we're gonna apply that with a stippling brush here, buffing brush. Work it into the brush. Give that a little tippy tap on. Or aside from the makeup thoughts you might have, let me know your thoughts on all that deep, serious stuff we just talked about. Rosy warmth in it, bit of pink. Go nicely with this. Peach would probably look pretty too. Oh man, my stomach is growling so loud. I'm so hungry. I haven't had lunch yet. I had a smoothie for breakfast. Highlight, I'm gonna use my Melt Raw Honey for a bit of a glow and highlight and a bit of a blush topper situation. Looks like this. I'm taking the darker side. A little pitter patter over where we put the blush. I'm gonna take the lighter, come a little bit higher on the cheek. I like this color particularly because it does have a warmth, a strong warmth in it, while still being at the heart a cooler tone. It's one of those like almost mood exposure from Hourglass or Barrymore from Milani type shades where it can just kind of work with whatever you're doing, whatever look. It just kind of pairs really well. And I feel like a little bit of blush with this looks nice because it keeps us from looking too dead. I'm going ghoulish, but I ain't trying to look like a ghoul. I'll link an older video I did called Ghoulish Glam, I think. It was one of my very early YouTube videos, but I still love the look that I created in that video. So I'm gonna link that in case you want to watch it and need some spooky inspiration. I have actually a whole playlist called Spooky Girl Fall if you want to watch that. I'll link that now as well. Let's do a little half lash situation. I feel like that would suit the look well. Let's do some Kiss Pompadour. This is a oldie but a goodie that I've enjoyed for years. Trim them down a good bit to just kind of create a nice lift on the outer corner, not like a full crazy lash that's going to hide all the fun eyeshadow. My favorite way to put on lashes, my favorite lash glue at the moment, Kiss. This is their lash glue liner pen. This thing actually works really well. Shockingly well. Because a lot of times these liner pens ain't it. I'm just putting it right where I'm going to place the lashes. You don't have to wait very long with the eyeliner glue either. I love a good just trim down outer corner lash situation. It suits me. I grab one of these little buddies that come with the Impress lashes. Squeeze them into place just like you would any other lash. These little things are so handy, by the way. Not just with the Impress lashes, but with just applying regular falsies. And you get them, I think, with every kit. You get one, which is awesome to have backups. Because you know me and how much I lose my lash curler. Obviously, I'm losing those all the time, too. All right, let's do a little mascara to blend it all together. This is Beauty Counter mascara. Okay, cool. Nice lash going. Sometimes after I get like the lashes on, I feel like, oh, we could do a little more here, a little more of this. It's just part of my process. I'm taking a little Morphe too with some of Stagecoach Mary. I just want to haze more of that coming up. There we go. I'm going to stop with the eyeshadow. Give the lips a little line here real quick with BFF2. And for lipstick, we're going to take Urban Decay in 1993. This is one of their Comfort Mattes. Beautiful classic brown. Cool tone brown. Was this the right choice? I don't think I love this lip with this eye. Hold. I think we can do better. Yeah, I think this shade works a little bit better. This is the Wood Nonchalant from L'Oreal. There we go. I'm going to top it with a little bit of lip gloss. This is from Bite Beauty. That actually looks kind of cool. This is in the shade called Demi Glacé. Kind of like the idea of that dark kind of grayish look we got going now. Alright. Yeah, there we go. A little bit spookier. With the lip a little more moody. Okay. Alright, and here's our look all complete. I feel very ghoulishly swampy and spooky, even though this is a deserty themed palette. I like the way this came out. I think it's so pretty. I'm very excited about these greens. I love this like neon, almost lime glow that the shimmer on the lid has. Paired with these watery greens. I just think it's so beautiful and very fun. And again, out of my comfort zone with the cooler tone greens. I usually am more of an olive or mustardy type of color story person. So this is, again, kind of a new thing for me, and I'm enjoying it. I like adding that little pop of the bluish kind of denim, almost smoky quartz to lower lash line. A little half lash. Topped off with a grayish brown lip. I think we nailed it. I think it's a cool look. All right. Let me know down below your thoughts on when is somebody who you would describe as just a lot become too much. Let me know your thoughts on that below. And what shades next would you like to see me go into with the Ghost Town palette? And if you have any weird topics as far as like relationships go, let me know those down below too. I can chit chat about that kind of stuff all day. Because all I do is think all day. Internal monologue. It's a constant TED Talk up here. It's a podcast. And I can't keep track of the guests. So, anyway, that's all for today. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay safe and stay spooky. Bye now.